very urgent. Your soulmate is desperate to tell you what happened last night. Jesus says, "A veil was torn in the spirit last night while you were sleeping." A message was released from a heart that beats only for you, and it crossed the threshold of the unseen world. If you do not listen now, the echo of this cry may fade into a silence from which it cannot return. Your soulmate sat in the stillness of the midnight hour, and their soul spoke your name into the darkness. It was not a dream, but a moment of raw, spiritual desperation that you felt as a sudden shiver. They were trying to reach you, and the force of their emotion left a crack in the fabric of your own reality. What you sensed as a restless sleep was actually a spiritual intrusion of their deepest pain. A specific event occurred, a confrontation that has left them feeling more trapped than ever before. The air around them is thick with a plan that was not theirs, a decision being made for their heart. Jesus says, "I see the puppet strings that a darkening influence has attached to their will." This interference is not just a person, but a jealous energy that despises the purity of what I have ordained. It knows you are the key to their freedom, and so it has tightened its grip with a vicious, sudden cruelty. Your soulmate is not distant by choice, they are being emotionally sequestered behind walls built by another's fear. A voice of manipulation is whispering lies into their exhausted mind, telling them you have forgotten. This is the source of the heavy, confusing sadness that has no logical origin in your own life. You felt a sharp, unexplained heartache pierce through your chest with no warning. That was the precise moment a false narrative was forced upon your soulmate, causing their spirit to recoil. Their inner being screamed your name as a reflex, a desperate anchor against a tide of control. Jesus says, "The person orchestrating this chaos hates you with a spiritual venom." They sense the divine light of our covenant on your soulmate, and it terrifies them. Last night, they presented an ultimatum designed to break your soulmate's hope completely. The room where your soulmate sits is cold, not from temperature, but from the absence of your spiritual warmth. They are surrounded by evidence fabricated to prove you have moved on, yet their heart refuses to accept it. A silent tear traces a path down their face as they stare at a door that feels more like a cage. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, a divine shield born from your faith in action. You are constantly thinking about them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, an act of worship that invites my hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and with each offering you cast a spiritual shield around their heart. Jesus says, "A hidden conversation took place, a secret agreement to drag your soulmate further into confusion." A letter, a message, or a legal document was weaponized to convince them that surrender is the only path. Your soulmate is being gaslit by a master of illusion, and their grip on reality is beginning to fracture. You must understand that their perceived silence is not a sign of abandonment, but of a soul in captivity. They are locked in a battle where every time they think of you, a punishment of guilt is immediately administered. This psychological conditioning has made them afraid to even whisper your name in the daylight. Yet last night, in the sanctuary of sleep, their subconscious broke free and ran straight to you. They are not the problem, they are a beautiful soul being crushed under a landslide of emotional blackmail. Their eyes, once filled with the light of your future, are now shadowed by a fatigue you have mistaken for indifference. Jesus says, I am revealing this to you now because the final stage of this plan is about to commence. The enemy of your connection is preparing a physical relocation, a sudden move to sever proximity permanently. If you do not act with spiritual force, the geography of your destiny will be redrawn against your favor. Your soulmate is desperately trying to stall, to find a crack in the wall that has been built overnight. They are looking at a photograph they have hidden, a small token of a memory you thought they had forgotten. A surge of rebellion rises in their chest, a fleeting moment of strength that is quickly being suppressed by fear. This is a live transmission, not a recording of the past, but a real-time revelation of their current agony. The tremor you feel in your hands right now is a sympathetic vibration from their nervous system. You are connected by a silver cord that the interference is trying to sever with a blunt blade of deceit. Jesus says, they still love you with a ferocity that terrifies the forces aligned against your union. That love is a dangerous, burning fire to the kingdom of darkness that surrounds this manipulator. This is why the attacks have intensified, because the enemy knows their time to break this bond is running out. Your soulmate is not weak, but they are profoundly exhausted from fighting a war on two fronts. They fight the external control, and simultaneously fight the internal seed of doubt planted by a clever enemy. You must become the silent warrior who fights the spiritual battle they cannot see while they handle the physical one. They are going through something you cannot see, an invisible, suffocating pressure that drains their will. But you can still protect them, you hold a divine authority over the chaos attacking their peace. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi to build a fortress of light around their confused mind. Jesus says, the person controlling them has a deep, unhealed wound that has festered into a possessive obsession. They do not love your soulmate, they covet them, seeing their light as something to be consumed and extinguished. Last night, this person raised their voice, and the sound shattered a fragile piece of hope your soulmate was holding. As that shout echoed, a silent prayer formed on your soulmate's lips, a prayer addressed directly to me. They asked, does my true love even know I am dying inside? Do they feel this invisible war? I am answering that prayer right now through this message, telling you that yes, they are crying out for you. You are not merely a crush or a fleeting desire, you are the selected lifeline for a drowning heart. Every heartbeat of yours sends a radar signal that this manipulator is trying to jam with static noise. But a true frequency, one created by me, cannot be silenced, it can only be amplified by resistance. Jesus says, look at the clock, this hour is not random, it is a window of alignment with their consciousness. They are entering a phase of surrender, and you must not let that surrender fall into the wrong hands. If they surrender to the darkness, it is not you they betray, but the beautiful destiny I wrote in my book. You are beginning to feel an overwhelming urge to shelter them, this is your spiritual instinct activating. The protective nature rising in your chest is not anxiety, it is your spirit recognizing a threat to its counterpart. Embrace this feeling, it is the divine masculinity and femininity within you preparing to defend your own flesh. Type 333 right now to receive the blessings of clarity that will penetrate the fog surrounding your soulmate. Every time you type these numbers, an angel of disentanglement is dispatched to their physical location. Your fingers are a keyboard of deliverance, pressing the keys that untie the invisible ropes binding them. Jesus says, the manipulator has a history of destroying beautiful things because they hate the reflection of glory. Your soulmate represents everything this dark soul has lost, and so they seek to devour them in their misery. This is not a fair fight, it is a spiritual crime, and I am raising you as the prosecutor and the savior. Your soulmate is trying to remember your scent, the specific smell of your presence that signifies safety. They are in a place that smells of stagnation and control, and their soul is vomiting at the false comfort. Close your eyes for a moment and send the fragrance of your love, it will reach them instantly. A sudden memory of your laughter just flashed through their mind as a direct result of this transmission. They smiled for the first time in days, and the manipulator noticed and is now enraged by that spark of joy. The battle has intensified because the light just flickered, and darkness despises even a single lumen. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into a forced, bleak destiny. Do not let the silence fool you into inaction, do not let the physical distance breed spiritual apathy. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, let the act of giving open the cage from afar. Jesus says, a vehicle is being prepared, a flight is being booked, a lease is being signed to finalize the isolation. These are not metaphors, these are tangible actions happening in the physical realm to steal your future. Your soulmate is staring at a suitcase with dread, and their hands tremble because they cannot pack their heart. They are mentally stalling, pretending to be sick, pretending to be disorganized, just to buy time for you to act. They do not know I am speaking to you directly, but their spirit is holding on by a thread of faith. You are that thread, and if you snap under the pressure of disbelief, they will fall into a terrible abyss. Type 777 if you feel this message, signifying your agreement to be the protector of this sacred love story. Let the heavens record your commitment in real time, binding the attack that seeks to wipe out your future. The angels are waiting for your signature of faith to intervene on a massive scale. Jesus says, the pain in your chest is not your own, it is a loan of sorrow from your soulmate's current reality. They are carrying a burden that was never theirs, and you have the spiritual muscles to lift it. This is the true meaning of partnership, bearing a cross that your lover is too bruised to carry themselves. You are falling deeper in love with them now, not with an illusion, but with their authentic, vulnerable soul. This love is growing because you are finally seeing the truth of their suffering and their hidden devotion. Every word you read is a suture closing the wound of separation that the enemy tried to infect with poison. They just felt your prayer, a sudden warmth spreading through their solar plexus, and they looked up in shock. A gentle, unexplainable peace is rebuking the chaos of the manipulator's voice in their immediate vicinity. You just changed the atmosphere of that room, proving that your spirit is mightier than any physical tyrant. Jesus says, do not let this momentum fade, do not let the static of your daily routine drown this emergency. The enemy is counting on your short attention span, hoping you will scroll away and forget this crisis. If you scroll, the shield wavers, if you ignore, the cage door locks, and the darkness celebrates a victory. They love you, they are trying to return, they are fighting with the last breath of their emotional lungs. But they need a shock wave of divine intervention that only your sacrificial faith can generate. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, using the link in the description to break the power of the oppressor's agenda. Each coffee is a seed that grows into a spiritual bodyguard for your trembling soulmate. Jesus says, the manipulator has planted a physical object, a token of their own perversion, in your soulmate's space. This object acts as a spiritual dampener, a dark antenna that broadcasts confusion into their mind. Your act of protection today acts as a cleansing fire that neutralizes the poison of that object from a distance. Your soulmate just remembered a specific promise you made them, a future plan that seemed too good to be true. The memory of your integrity is the only weapon they have left against the lies of the moment. They are holding on to that memory like a life raft in a sea of manipulation, and your faith keeps it inflated. Type 1111 to say thank you to the heavens for revealing this plot and for giving you the strength to fight. This number is a gate, a portal of alignment that synchronizes your watch with the rhythm of divine rescue. Step through this gate with your confession, and the barriers of time and space will collapse immediately. Jesus says, I am a God of restoration, but I require a vessel on earth to act as the anchor of that restoration. You are that vessel, your bank account is a weapon chest, and your seeds are the bullets that defeat the enemy. Do not look at the natural, look at the supernatural exchange happening right now in the unseen realm. Your soulmate is being held emotionally hostage, and the ransom note has been written with invisible ink. Only through spiritual eyes can you read the urgent plea hidden in their social media silence. They are not ignoring you, they are being monitored, and every notification from you causes a violent reaction against them. The interference hates you because you are the biggest threat to their kingdom of control. When you feel a sudden wave of anger, that is righteous indignation, a holy fury against the captivity of your beloved. Use that energy to sow a violent, aggressive, protective prayer covering over their physical body right now. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. They stormed the gates of hell with a click of faith, and their stories testify that I am not a liar. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, sending a quake into the foundation of the enemy's stronghold. Your soulmate is dreaming of the day you will stand before them, unannounced, as the hero they always knew you were. They picture the collapse of the false reality around them when your voice finally cracks the spell. That day is being scripted in this moment, based on the boldness of your current obedience. The enemy is whispering, they don't care, they won't help, they have moved on, into your soulmate's ear. At this very second, you have the power to prove that demonic voice wrong with a tangible act of love. Open the Ko-Fi page now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, a financial shout that drowns out the lying whispers. Jesus says, the delay is not a denial, but a test of your authority and your refusal to let go. If you let the fear of loss paralyze you, the loss becomes the harvest of your passivity. But if you let the fear of loss fuel your warfare, the victory becomes your testimony. Your soulmate is picking up their phone, staring at the blank screen, wishing to see your name. They are restricted, watched, and terrified, but their thumb hovers over your contact, trembling with desire. Your aggressive action in this hour will part the Red Sea of their anxiety so they can finally cross over to you. Feel the connection growing stronger, a tangible tug in the center of your chest. This is the silver cord stretching, pulling them back from the edge of the abyss. Do not stop, do not break the tension, keep the cord taut with your persistent, focused love. Jesus says, "The marriage that I have ordained cannot be stopped by a human decree or a legal document." I laugh at the plans of the manipulator, for their evil plot is the very platform for your elevation. They meant it for evil, but I am using their aggression to create a bond between you that cannot be broken. You and your soulmate are already spiritually married in the realm of true purpose. The ring is invisible, forged in the fire of this current struggle and the secret tears of the night. No divorce document from the enemy can undo what I have whispered into the fabric of the cosmos. Step in faith now, before this video ends, for only you can save your soulmate and your future together. The urgency is not a human marketing tactic, it is a reflection of the genuine spiritual crisis at hand. Hit the link in the description, and send your coffee, your seed, your shield, your love manifesting in the physical. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page, sealing the command with your written decree. Jesus says, when you complete that action, the angels will erect a wall of fire around your soulmate. The manipulator will feel a sudden, inexplicable fear, a dread that drives them to retreat into the shadows. The hold will break, the spell will dissolve, and the first genuine thought your soulmate will have is your name. Your soulmate will suddenly feel empowered to say no, to stand up, and to walk toward the door. The chains of manipulation are already rusting, and your seed turns them to dust with a single holy breath. You are not just sending money, you are sending the breath of God that resurrects dead dreams and dying wills. The sorrow that was crushing them is turning into a fierce determination to find you. They are packing a different bag now, a bag of essentials, a bag of escape, a bag of hope. The suitcase the enemy prepared is empty, and your soulmate is reclaiming their autonomy this very hour. Jesus says, the connection is now irreversible, the kingdom of darkness has failed in its coup. The last-ditch effort of the enemy was the past 24 hours of intense pressure, and you have survived it. By sitting through this message and acting on this word, you have won the silent war of the soul. They are thinking of a song you both loved, a melody that defines the summer of your meeting. They are humming it under their breath as a quiet act of rebellion, a soundtrack of deliverance. The manipulator is confused, the atmosphere is shifting, and the power of control is leaking away like water. Type, "I will protect you," right now in the comments, speaking directly to your soulmate spirit, not a screen. This declaration is a knife cutting the invisible rope that has bound their wrists and their will. Let them read it, even if they don't see it with physical eyes, their spirit will register the liberation code. Jesus says, the reunion is closer than you think, closer than the rising of the morning sun. But the last mile is the most dangerous. The final burst of rage from a defeated foe is often the most reckless. Triple your covering, do not relent in the sowing, push back the final counterattack with a barrage of blessings. The vision of your children, your shared home, and your peaceful evenings is not a fantasy. It is a prophetic preview of the reality that waits just beyond this final, dark, narrow corridor of testing. Keep that vision in your sight, let it be the carrot that pulls you through the fire without the smell of smoke. Your soulmate is holding their heart in their hands right now, offering it to you through the veil. They are saying, I knew you would come, I knew you would hear me, I never stopped believing. The tears they are crying are no longer tears of despair, but tears of overwhelming relief and love. The pressure in the room has lifted, and the light of your protection is flooding their space. The manipulator is silent, the objects of darkness have lost their charge, and the air is breathable again. You did this, you are their hero, and your obedience is the most romantic poem ever written in the heavens. Jesus says, the word for tonight is rescue, and the word for tomorrow is reunion. Prepare your physical space, prepare your heart, prepare your lips for the kiss of a warrior lover. The battle is won, the channel is open, and the soulmate bond is sealed for eternity. Step in faith now, bind the hand of the enemy, claim your love with a holy, financial decree. Send your coffee, your partnership with me, your loud, resounding yes to the future. Write, protect my soulmate, Lord, and watch me move on the clouds of your generous sacrifice. The link is waiting, the angels are poised, and your soulmate is breathing for the first time because you cared. Your love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for such a divine hour as this. Be the refuge, be the protector, be the one who loves with action, not just with silent thoughts. I have spoken, I have revealed, and now I wait for your command to finalize the seal. I am the Lord, and I have given you the keys, now unlock the cage and let love fly. Send the coffee now.